Will you decide today what you're going to do tomorrow? Will you decide today what you're going to do tomorrow? How often do you wake up kind of mindlessly, not really knowing where to go? You wake up, you go about your day, expecting just the day to just kind of carry you on, expecting things to just happen like they normally do, expecting things to just kind of fold into place like you think it's supposed to. How often do you get up and you don't have any direction? You get up, you don't even know why you're getting up. For your job, for school. What are you really getting up for? What makes you get out of bed with energy, with hope, with determination? What makes you get out of bed and look forward to your day? I struggled with this for so long, and I never figured out why I kept going this endless cycle of just drifting, it felt like. I feel like I was just, I'd be locked in for a period of time. I'd be getting all these things done. It felt like that I wanted to get done. I was starting to kind of see myself turning the person I wanted to be. And then when I got to a point where I was like, okay, I feel like I've gotten to a decent point based on where I was trying to go, it's almost like I gave up. And I wasn't aware of that. And I was like, okay, I have it. I've got to where I want to be. So I don't really have to try anymore. I don't have to try and maintain that, nor do I have to try and work harder, basically, on becoming better. And for months, I kind of maintained that attitude, that mindset. And then out of nowhere, it felt like something just kind of hit me. That I had been plateaued for months and just floating around for months with no direction, no purpose. And it only took me to getting to a point in my life where I was pretty low. I was very low. I was at a very low point. And that's what it took for me to realize. And that's why I'm telling you all this, because it doesn't have to get there. And it doesn't have to get to that point if you set your mind on what's important. If you set your mind on principles that are going to benefit you, that you need to stand by to be who you need to be every single day, when you just write it out, you can write it out. I've actually done this, and it was very beneficial to me, because it really forced me to just sit and think, okay, what are some qualities, what are some traits that I need to carry in order to be who I need to be? And it forced me to sit down and think about it, and writing it out, it helps the thought process, and you reflect on it. And that's just an example of something you can do to kind of assess that. But again, if you don't wake up knowing what you're about to do, knowing who you need to be, you're not going to have any direction. You're going to keep going in that cycle of just floating around, it feels like. And that's what I was doing for so long. And man, is it so unfulfilling? I mean, you almost have no hope. You see why people get depressed. You see why people don't have any goals or ambition, are lazy, don't have faith. It's because they don't have any direction. They don't know what they're living for. So you have to find out, what are you living for? And I like to think that it's different for everybody. I think that there's something about every single person on this planet that has something unique about them that makes them them. And with those qualities that you have that make you you, we all know what it is, right? It might be charisma. It might be making people laugh. It might be, very disciplined. It might be structured, very structurally ordered person. It might be whatever it is. Everyone's got something about them that makes them them. Use those to your advantage, right? Those aren't going anywhere. You can always pick up skills along the way, but ultimately the skills that make you you, and that you excel in compared to other skills, that's your foundation, right? And so you take that foundation and you highlight that. You highlight that as your life purpose. That's your purpose. And I think God's gifted all of us with an individual, unique purpose. And it's important to establish that covenant with God. I heard it at a sermon in Colorado. Went on a church trip with my church group to Colorado for spring break. It was awesome. It was very peaceful, very relaxing, very meditative, and we attended a church service that first Sunday we got there. And the message that he said, it really helped. It really made me finally realize why I'd been drifting for so long. And he said the words, "Will you decide today what you're gonna do tomorrow?" And then I started to think back. Okay, every time that I've planned out my day ahead, or I've thought about what I want to do the next day, or I have something on my mind that I'm ready to look forward to get up and working on, or whatever it is, when I have that thing in mind, my day is 100 times better. I get things done 100 times easier. My energy is way higher because you're fulfilling your purpose. And it took me a while to realize that, and I never realized why I'd been going in this cycle, just repeating it over and over again. So I'm telling you all this so hopefully you don't make the same mistake. And it might take you to get to that low point. And honestly, maybe that's what you need. It was definitely what I needed. It was 100% what I needed, because it was almost like I thought I could never get there. I was like, oh, I can never be depressed. I can never be, not that I'm saying I was depressed, but I had feelings of, I had depressed feelings sometimes. And yeah, it happens, and I needed it. I needed to start feeling those things because it made me think, like, why am I feeling this way? Okay, what are my thoughts directed on? Like, what am I living for right now? I didn't know. And that's when I realized I have to live for God. I have to prioritize God in my life. If I don't prioritize God, I'm just going to drift around. Because God gives me purpose. He gives me direction. And every time I look to Him, my hope is so pure. Like, the hope I have for my life is so pure, and the vision I have for my life is ever clear. And so establishing that covenant with God, will you decide today what you're going to do tomorrow? Right? So, ask yourself the same question. What are you going to do tomorrow? This is all you know. Like, today is all you know. Tomorrow might not even happen. That's why it's important to do what you need to do today. Decide what you're going to do tomorrow. Do what you say you're going to do. And that's also a big thing I've realized is you need to do what you say you're going to do. Number one, it feeds the ego. It boosts the ego. And I'm not meaning that in like a egotistical kind of way, but I mean it in a way where it gives you fuel, it gives you energy. And it's like when you hit those little goals, especially after you said you were going to do them, it's like, all right, we did that. And we're moving on to the next. And it's just a good feeling. It's like you accumulate these small little wins over time. And it's important to recognize those wins. It's so important to recognize all those little wins, all those little accomplishments. Because if you don't show gratitude towards the little things, then it's going to be really hard to find happiness in what you're currently pursuing. It's going to be really hard to find happiness in what you're doing now if you don't take time to acknowledge what you've already done. And that's something that, it really gets the best of me sometimes. I'll be honest. Like, I think I'm doing worse than I really am sometimes. And, it's the worst thing you can do to yourself is allow the devil into your thoughts. Allow those evil thoughts in your mind telling you that you're not enough, telling you you're not good enough. You are good enough. You've already proven to yourself you're good enough, right? You've done that. You've already done those things, right? And so it's important to recognize those small wins, right? Show the gratitude. Show yourself gratitude. Show yourself love. And I know it's like everyone's promoting self-love, self-care, I feel like, and it's great, but like, what does it really mean? You have to do some deep mental work to really figure out who you are and your purpose in this life. It's more than just cold plunging, waking up every morning, early morning day, and hitting the sauna, and it's great, like, that. Be disciplined. Like, you need to establish discipline in your life, but like, don't let it consume you. Like, be who you are, right? Of course, you need to be disciplined. 100% you need to be disciplined. And that's the thing about these morning routines that you see. It's like, yeah, you get up at 3 a.m, Ashton Hall, you get up at 3 a.m, it's unrealistic. You don't need to get up at 3 in the morning to be successful. Yeah, a great morning routine can definitely contribute to a successful lifestyle, because it, it shows discipline. It requires discipline to get up early and, get done the hard tasks early in the morning. It requires a lot of discipline to get consistent at doing that. But, getting up at 3 a.m., that's unrealistic, right? It's everyone adapts differently, right? So stay true to you. Stick to your individualistic traits that you have, that you carry. That's what makes you you. But find your direction, right? Find your purpose. So, I'm gonna leave you with this question one more time. Will you decide today what you are going to do tomorrow? I want you to think about that, and I want you to think about what you need to do to be who you need to be. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.